Hey, what is going on, everybody? So in today's video, I want to talk all about training modules. Now, this is a little bit in response to last Friday's post about the community acknowledgement, and I'm going to bring this up just over here. So it was this post that was brought to us on Friday afternoon. Now, this is related to all the stuff that they were addressing for the community acknowledgement. I'm not going through this whole post here, but specifically I want to take point at the training modules that they mentioned here and basically what they said about this. So they basically said that coming soon, not only are we getting a skilletary flash event, but we're also going to be getting increased amounts of training modules coming to us on a monthly basis. Now, the value that they gave us is nearly 800,000 XP or 1,000 L3 or purple training mods. So basically I want to convert this into a usable format. To me, that doesn't really, when I think about training modules, I think about it in a gold format in terms of how much gold worth of training modules are we getting. So I basically made a spreadsheet that told us all the training modules that we're currently getting and how much more this realistically means in the grand scheme of things. So that's going to be the main purpose of this video here today. Before we get into the spreadsheets, though, I do want to talk about they didn't really say all of the ways that we're getting the training modules, but they did say that it will be largely through the flash events. But I think before then they said they're going to increase, they did some of the daily objective stuff as well, but there could be other forms of other methods of getting training modules along the way, events, milestones, and new features. But I do want to go back into the game here really quick, and I want to point out, in case people weren't aware, that you do actually get bonus amounts of training modules for Do More Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. So by looking at Chapter 1, you can see that actually for the 10 energy levels, you're getting 2 green and 3 blue training modules. Now in all the other ones from 2 and 3, you're getting 3 green and 3 blue. And so, yeah, 3 green, 3 blue. So that might not seem like a lot, but we will see, though, that as we go through the spreadsheet, that actually a good chunk of the training modules that you do get coming into the game does come from energy. So this 1 green, while it might not seem like a ton, it does actually build up. And if you go back into other ones, I think even maybe Nexus Chapter 8, I think also has a little bit. Yeah, it's only 1 green, 1 blue. So as soon as you get up to Do More, whether it's Chapter 1 or Chapter 2 and 3, it goes up from 1 green, 3 blue to 2 and 3 green, and a little bit, it's not a ton, but it does build up over time through your energy use. So that's all about today's video. Is going to be about training modules and breaking it down and kind of showing how much you guys actually get on a monthly basis. So sit tight and let's flip over to the spreadsheets. Alright, and so here we are on my training module spreadsheet now. I know I'm not the best graphic designer when it comes to colors and all this thing, but we'll be going through it, line by line, and hopefully by the end of it, this makes some sense to you guys. I did separate, you can see the different boxes and the different colors. This is largely the different methods in which you currently get training modules and sort of the amount that you get and the gold value. Like, again, maybe it's just me, but I feel better knowing how much gold that these training modules are actually valued at rather than the amount of XP they give, because I don't really think of it in terms of XP. I think of it in terms of how much gold do I have to spend to level that character, because at the end of the day, it's kind of it's weird that this game does have a gold bottleneck to level up a character on top of the training modules that you need to spend in order to do it. But hey, that's a completely different rant altogether. So starting off, this blue section here is actually all to do with energy. Now, I know that different people spend different amounts of energy and different points in the game, so I have different scenarios here, and we're going to go through over this. So this section here, this first bit here, is assuming that you're only doing the Nexus 8 or slightly below that, and that's the 1 green and 3 blue modules that you get from that. And this is with assuming that you're spending 600 energy. I know some people vary, some people spend 600, some people spend 800, and some people do 1,000. Now that's like, 2 power core refreshes, 4 power core refreshes, and such like that. So basically the point is here, assuming that you're doing those kind of levels and you're spending 600 energy, you're getting roughly, rounding up, about 7 million gold worth of training modules just from that alone over a 28-day period. So a lot of this a lot of these numbers are either daily or 28 days. And the reason why it's on a 28-day cycle is because RTA, or real-time arena, you know, the seasons are 28 days, and you do get some training modules from there, and so that's why I wanted to make it even, so that it was easy to sort of look at it that way. So at the very end of the spreadsheet, you're going to see it in basically a 28-day version here. So we're getting about 7 million gold roughly from, if you were to spend 600 energy and you were doing Nexus 8. Now this wasn't, and slightly below that. And okay, so we're just going to skip this middle part just for the moment, because this is related actually to this part down below. I should have flipped them around a little bit, but this is assuming that you're spending energy primarily on Do More Chapter 2 and 3. Now, I know that not everyone's going to be doing that, and people are going to be shard farming on different characters, but, you know, for the purposes of this exercise, that's what we're going to be looking at. And so you're getting 180 green and 180 blue training modules if you were to spend 600 energy on Do More Chapters 2 to 3, and over a daily period. The daily is not super important, but over the 28-day period, you're getting close to 8 million gold worth of training modules over that 28-day period. Now, if you were to start spending 800, and this is where it gets important here in the middle, I should have moved it around, my apologies for that though. If you're spending 800 energy or 1,000 energy, you know, you're getting 10.5 million or 13 million gold worth of training modules over that same period. So you can see that really you're getting a ton of your training modules that come from energy. Now, we're going to see this down below when we get to the grand total, but basically, you know, if you're just doing 600 energy spending in Do More Chapters 2 to 3, you know, roughly 40% of your total training modules are coming from energy, and this actually goes up even higher to about 52%, you know, if you're doing 1,000 energy, which is all 4 of your power core refreshes. So, you know, basically spending your energy on the different campaigns do equate to a significant portion of the trading module income that comes to the game. Now, down here in this box, you know, we're talking about weekly challenges. This is the training module challenge. So where it becomes important, you know, this is basically what you get over a single challenge day weekly. And then this is the important part here over 28 days. Because again, a lot of my my figures here are, it's more important if you look at it over a 4-week cycle. You're getting 8.3 million roughly gold worth of training modules over a 28-day period. And so why is this important? Well, if you look at the number over here, and this is, again, we'll see why that's important down below, roughly about 41.5% or so of your training modules is going to come from the challenges. So if you add that up with the above figure, you know, you're looking at anywhere from 80 to 90% of your training modules currently anyways stems specifically from spending energy and your challenges. Now, what I haven't included this, and I should have said this maybe up front, is I haven't included milestone orbs and the training orb fragments that you get on the side occasionally on milestone orbs, because I can't really, I'm not smart enough, I guess, in math, and I can't really formulate that out in terms of how frequently you might get a training orb, you know, versus how many milestone orbs. So I haven't included training orbs at all in this spreadsheet because I just couldn't work it out myself. But you know, if someone else wants to help me out and do this better, this is a rough estimate though about where your training module income is coming from. Now, the rest down below, a lot of this is related to real-time arena. Now, you know, it's not a huge figure, which is great because I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't really like to, you know, do it at all because it's a pain in the ass for a lot of people. So basically, if you were to do the daily objectives and the RTA daily objective, this is actually the it is optional, or wait, no, it's not optional. Sorry, these ones here are your actual objectives. RTA is down here in the yellow. This is just your RTA daily objective of just doing 2 RTA battles every single day. You're getting 10 purples from that. I think that was changed just recently, a couple of days ago. I'm pretty sure. Same with the store purchase objective. I believe they bumped it up a little bit. So this is the newer figure for that one. So you're getting 10 purple daily, and then over 28 days, you're getting 280. Basically, this equates to 1.4 million gold here for the RTA daily and 840k for the store purchase objective, you know, and really this equates to the grand total about 7% here and then 4.2% from that. So it's roughly about 11% or so from your daily objectives that you get from that. Now, the rest of it is the real-time arena season stuff. So basically there you do get 6 purples total. I'm not including, there's 3 different objectives. I believe it's 5 knockouts, 15 knockouts, and 25 knockouts. This is currently as it sits for Season 3. This might change a little bit for Season 4. So this, you know, it's not a huge figure anyways, but you are getting roughly about 4.2% of your training modules. If you were to do the 25 knockouts daily, every single day for 28 days. Now, it's not a ton. Again, it only equates currently to about 6 purple training modules if you do all 25 knockouts. I know not everyone does, you know, this many RTA matches a single day unless you're completing your weekly objectives. And so there is actually purple training modules as well in the actual levels in the season pass. So this is just the free-to-play season pass. I think there might be more training modules if you pay for it, but I didn't include that because I know not everyone does that. Don't even have the figure for that. Maybe I should have added that anyways, so my bad on that one. But if you are completely free-to-play, you know, you're going to get 80 purple training modules. It's not a ton, you know, over the 100 levels. And this only equates to about 2% of the total training module income. So it's really not that important. If you're someone who doesn't really like real-time arena, you're not going to be losing out on a ton of training mods for not doing this. So that's kind of one of the other points that I wanted to make by showing this. And the weekly objectives, you do get 17 purple training modules for the various the weekly objectives that I could see. And then so over 4 weeks, obviously times 4, this is 68 purples. Again, pretty insignificant. This is less than 2% of your total training module income. Now, where it does get important is down below here. We got some more stuff here. So total training modules for the 28 days. I did this both with 600 energy and with 1,000 energy. So you're roughly getting, at the end of the day, you know, including all of these things above, you're getting roughly 20 million gold worth of training modules from your daily and weekly activities. Now, if you're someone who spends about 1,000 energy, this equates to roughly about 4 power core refreshes. You're going to be getting about 25 million gold worth of training modules. Now, this is about a 5 million difference, you know, if you're spending 400 more energy every day versus someone who's not. So do keep that in mind. That is a fairly significant number in the grand scheme of things, and we'll see why that is a little bit further down. But Scopely's promise, I kind of broke this down a little bit. They said that they're going to give us a total of 800,000 more XP training modules over the course of a month. What does this really mean? Well, I took the value of what an orange training mod is, even though they mentioned purple, and that's roughly the version. This is 500 orange mods or 1,000 purple training modules. So it was just a lot easier to kind of math this out with the orange training mods. So because it's worth 10,000 gold basically per orange mod, and this gives us 5 million gold worth of extra training mods. So on top of the previous figures, you know, we're getting roughly another 25 million or 30 million, depending on if you're spending 600 and 1,000 energy. So in the grand scheme of things, that's roughly about a 25% difference. So 5 million, you know, from these figures, depending on what it is, of course, it'd be 25% with 600 energy and 20% if you're spending 1,000 energy. So that's the amount of increase that we're going to be getting on a monthly basis with the new, what I call Scopely's promise of training modules coming to the game by May, because we're getting that skilletary training mod flash event. So I just wanted to share this part. And what's interesting to look at is the total amount of gold that's required to go from level 1 to 80 for a brand new character, or say a character that you haven't leveled up before. And that's 7.73 million gold. Now, why is this important? Well, again, you math this out by kind of dividing these above figures. And specifically, I did the old and the new and use these different numbers here. So for this one here, you know, you're taking the basically the 20 million, dividing that by 7.73 million. And, you know, we're currently getting 2.59. If you're only spending 600 energy, then you're able to level from 1 to max at 1 to 80, 2.59 characters per 28-day cycle. Now, if the new, including the extra 5 million, you know, this goes up to 3.23 characters, you know, per 28-day cycle with the, what I call Scopely's promise. Now, if you're spending 1,000 energy, this does look a little bit different. So 3.27 characters per 28-day cycle for the old version, which is the 25 million gold worth of training modules, or 3.91 characters per 28 days using the new figure, which is about 30 million gold or so. So as you can see that, you know, give or take, you know, anywhere between 3 and 4, you know, using rounding, that you can level up characters from 1 to 80, given the old and the new version of training modules coming to the game. So why is this important? Well, we know that about usually 3 characters per month comes to this game, sometimes 4, but it's usually about 3. And so basically we're going to be getting enough training modules to level all of the new characters 1 to 80, and that's really about it. So what that tells you is kind of like, if you are someone who really needs to build, and this is probably for most people, that you need to go back and level up older characters, other characters for whatever reason, events, otherwise characters that you missed out on, characters you still need to build up, etc. You know, there is going to be a deficit still at the end of the day. So this is a, you know, a resource management game, and you're going to need to be able to kind of decide who you want to build and who you don't want to build. So knowing what kind of training, and again, this doesn't include milestone orb training modules that you come from training orbs and other things and other events that I haven't really planned for. But at the end of the day, this is a rough estimate of to how many characters that you can build on a monthly basis. Now, obviously, you're going to need to save this for characters that you feel are important to you, and especially if new characters are or are not important to you, then maybe it's worth skipping some of them so that you can go back and use those training mods if you're in a really big crunch period to level up other characters by skipping some. And you know, I've done this from time to time. Currently on my account, I'm not really leveling up the Shadowland characters very much, but my partner is. So, you know, maybe there's a reason for skipping characters if you're in a big training module crunch. What I haven't calculated out is how much gold, you know, are we getting on a 28-day or monthly basis. That's probably my next project, but I think this gives us a good sort of baseline to know how many training modules are we actually getting on a monthly basis, and what does that really mean in the grand scope of things. So I'm Scopely. I didn't mean to do that. That was unintentional. But, you know, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I can make this available, and I'll probably include this in the description below in case you guys want to check it out on your own time. This was, you know, a rough estimate. I know that the math probably isn't 100%. You know, it's probably 90% there. But this looks pretty accurate in terms of what we're actually getting in the game from training modules, and what we will be getting eventually at some point, hopefully by May with Scopely's promise. So anyways, that's the end of this video, guys, and I hope it was informative, and if it was, please smash that like button down below and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Of course, until next time, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Boylon signing out.